Good morning, everyone. You're in the office with Joseph Skoda. Or you see my shirt, GI Connections is my nonprofit I have, and GI Connections has to do with connecting veterans with resources. Don't call me GI Joe, Joseph Skoda, all those fine things, because I'll answer to it because it means a lot to me. So today I want to talk to you a little bit about some comments, some suggestions that probably mean the most to us than anything else. Now, don't get me wrong. We want to hear thank you. We want to hear please. Can I have some more? We want to hear some money. We want to hear those kind of things. Also, excuse me. But I don't think there's anything more important than hearing our names. No one wants to be called, hey, you come over here, or child. As children, we often call son, daughter, and that's a term of endearment. But as they get older, they kind of want to be recognized by their names also. Didn't you? Now, yesterday, I happened to be at a pet store. Not Petco, but the other one. And I was just trying to get some bloodworms for my fish. I have a couple goldfish and angelfish. They don't always get along. If you give a little treats, they usually get along just a little bit better and they live in harmony just a little bit longer. So I went to the store to get some, like I said, some bloodworms. And I think it was you buy one and get the other one for 25%. Hey, sounds good to me. So it was like $10, but about $17. It might have been $18 with tax. Who knows? I would have saved a little bit. And I was excited, and I didn't see the small print. And you know me, I do not always wear my glasses. I didn't see the small print where I had to be a member of the club, the club. And they hear that a lot. What's your phone number? Because they know who you are, you're registered, and they can find all that up. So I tried my phone number, my wife's phone number, and none of those worked. Okay, I guess we're not members. So I didn't know. Anyways, I'm trying to ring her up. She's like, well, do you want to be a member now? I could sign you up. You can save that 25%. I'm like, sure, why not? That's a great idea, right? She's helping me save a couple dollars. And really simple. Then it went downhill from there. She asked me, what's my name? And I'm like, well, Joseph Skoda. Joseph. My first name. She said, how do you spell that? Excuse me? How do you spell Joseph? One of the most common names in the Bible, one of a very common name in the U.S. and even around the world. How do you spell Joseph? I was offended. She got the J-O-S correct, and then she's going off, and she says, well, how do you spell? I said, if you can't spell, I'm walking. And she goes, oh, J-O-S-I. I says, I'm walking. And I walked out the door of that pet store. Now, my fish would have loved the bloodworms. Maybe I was making something out of nothing. There were a couple people behind me at the register, but I was offended. This wasn't like I'm in a foreign country where the English or the language could be a little off. It wasn't like I was slurring where you couldn't understand what I was saying. She really did not know, at least she led me to believe, and probably everyone else behind me at the register, that she cannot spell Joseph. Now, don't get me wrong. I could have said Joe Skoda. And I do go by Joe and G.I. Joe, of course, but Joseph is more of a proper name, and I resonate with that just a little bit more. In fact, my parents gave me that name. My dad's name is Joseph, and his dad's name is Joseph, and my son's name is Joseph. That is important to me. Now, we should all know what our name means, right? Now, we know Joseph, he was the pseudo father of Jesus. Joseph married Mary, and angel came to Mary before they even got married, before she married Joseph, and said, "Hey, Mary, you're gonna have a baby." And like, I can't have a baby. I've never been with a man. I don't know these things. Well, you're gonna have a baby. You're not gonna be touched. Anyways, it's a long story, an important story to our Christian culture and heritage, realizing that Joseph had to be extremely patient, understanding, forgiving, because this has never happened before, where a woman gets out being touched. Anyways, God touched her and she had Jesus and she married Joseph. Now, Joseph was like number 11 in his own family when he was born. And it's very interesting. And the Hebrew would say like Yosef, maybe Yosef, but it's still Joseph in English. And we understand what that means. And we have to understand the importance of Joseph was so important that he was favored by his father, where his own brothers sold him to get rid of him and even wanted him to die because he was the favored one. It's a real common male name. Like I just said, Yosef. And believe it or not, it means to increase. It means to increase. It means to add one more. He will add from the root of Yasef. Anyways, it's very interesting. I can't look up everyone's name, Teresa, Vanessa, Georgia, Brian, Tom. We all have important names, and our parents named us those for a particular reason, of course. Now, when I was in the military, of course, Airman, come here. Sergeant, we expect you over there. Captain, where have you been? And those are important. It did not necessarily have to be Captain Smith or Airman Snuffy or Sergeant Jones, but those were terms, and those were earned titles. Like how many doctors call me doctor? Now, it was kind of disrespectful sometimes when, if you were let's just say in the Air Force, a chief master sergeant, and they called you sergeant. Hold it, I'm a little above just a sergeant. I'm a chief master sergeant, and it's very appropriate to say, hey, chief, how you doing, chief? What's going on, chief? Now, if you're in the Navy, always 6 is above or chief, and it's a little confusing. And I became, I was enlisted, but I also got my commission later on as a lieutenant. And lieutenant's all right. Hey, lieutenant, can I help you? Lieutenant, this is where you need to be. But every now and then, people would get a little sloppy and call you LT. How you doing, LT? What's up, LT? Are you late again, LT? Now, is it respectful or derogatory? It kind of depends on us. But most of the times in the workplace, we need to have a professional atmosphere. And LT is not accepted. Maybe out having a picnic or a barbecue, provided if you're the LT and it doesn't bother you. But if it does bother you, you need to let the other ones know. No, I'm Lieutenant Skoda. Or call me Joe off duty or Joseph or whatever it is. Nothing's more important than our name. Now, some people have a weird spelling of their names. For instance, my wife, Vanessa, it's actually spelled Vanica. Vanneca. Now, it's pronounced Vanessa, but she was born in Morocco, Africa. And in that culture or that society, they spelled Vanessa a little bit differently. Like I have a friend, he named his son Brian, right? My brother's Brian, Brian. But his son, I think it's Bryen or something like that. A little off spelling than we're used to here in the United States. But it's because of where he lived, where he served, different culture he experienced. He wanted to change a little bit. Now, it's okay to be cute with our kids, Destiny and Lover and Child's Play, whatever we call our kids. But realize they have to go through school. And if the spelling's a little bit off, if the wording or the name sounds a little funny, they will most likely be made fun of, be picked on, be put down. Now, don't get mad at the other kids. Don't get mad at the teachers. You did it to yourself. You did it to your own kids' self. So, we got to be a little cognitive. But a common name like John, Jim, Mark, Luke, Joseph, those are all in the Bible. And we all should have a Bible at home. And more importantly, we should be reading a Bible on a regular basis. Now, it's interesting. Even if you're a Church of Latter-day Saints, they still have the Bible. They still know the books of the Bible and who's who and how Jesus came about and how the earth and the world as we know it was formed. And it's very disheartening when basic things it's almost like basic math. What's 1 plus 1? What's 1 times 1? What's 100 times 12? Those are basic skill set that we don't even have to think about. But how to spell Joseph? How to spell Michael? Michael's even a little more confusing. Michael. And sometimes you see it as Michelle. It's not Michelle. Michelle is Michelle. Though I do have a friend, her name is Michelle. She don't have an E at the end. I think she only has one L. It's very interesting how we can play with words, but when we're calling someone, when we're recognizing someone, when we're acknowledging someone, we need to know their names correctly. Now, I do a lot of presenting, sometimes on the red carpet, sometimes in a Toastmasters meeting, sometimes at a veterans event. And if I know ahead of time I'm going to be introducing someone, it's very important. Listen to me. It's really important to ask them how to spell their name if you have to, but how to pronounce their name correctly. Nothing hurts more than being acknowledged and they say your name wrong. Now, my last name's Skoda. Sometimes I say Skoda, Skoda. I don't know. We get Skoda. It's Skoda, Skoda. It sounds exactly like it's spelled. But more often than not, it gets mispronounced. So when someone asks me what's my name, I say Skoda, Joseph Skoda, Skoda, where I'll spell out Skoda. And that's how I do it. I will always say Joseph Skoda, and I expect them to know how to spell Joseph. I don't think I should have to do that. But Skoda, I can understand. Sometimes I put Skota or Scota or some kind of variation of that. It usually comes out sound the same. But you know, when I tell you my name a few times, you still say Sakota or you still say Skada. That kind of bothers me a little bit. It should, and it should bother me if I mispronounce your name. If you're Smith, Jones, Johnson, Brown, Black, White, those are common and they should never be mispronounced or misunderstood. Why do we often not recognize people or we often not say names correctly? And I think you and I both know that. We're not paying attention. We're not listening. We're not writing it down. We're not asking for clarification. Now, sometimes I speak, and sometimes even these videos, I kind of wing it. I'll just talk about this today. Now, I actually looked up what Joseph meant, and I also got in the name, and I'm tying it to a story that happened to me yesterday. So I had a little preparation into it. And since it's about my name, it's not really that hard. But sometimes we're in such a hurry in our society where we don't take the time to comprehend what's expected of us. Now, I've done a few videos where I've just noticed the quality's not that good. The lighting is mediocre, and sometimes even the voice doesn't come in very clearly. Please forgive me for that. Going through new computers, new cameras, new places, sometimes it varies the quality going to come out. And I beg your forgiveness as I transition sometimes to different locations. With that being said, feel free to call me Joseph. Feel free to call me Joe. Feel free to call me Lieutenant or GI. I answered to those things. But whatever you do, be respectful. Hey, it's going to come over here. Now, when I was in the military, that's common. Skoda, get over here. Come over here. Even later on, we would call people by their last name. I don't know why. That never resonated with me very well. I would still call you by your first name, especially for peers. If you're a staff sergeant, I'm a staff sergeant. Hey, Pius. hey, Marcos. Hey, Mario. I would call you by your first names. But more often than not, they would call me Skoda. Is that the meaning? You know, it really isn't due to the work environment, due to the atmosphere, due to the culture of the military. It's real common to just call someone by their last name. But I don't know, I get a little offended sometimes. No, my name's Joe. And it was Joe back then. It's Joseph now, but it's Joe back then. And get a little offended. And I shouldn't be. Sometimes we have to get rid of that chip off of our shoulder, get rid of that chip that's there. We have to get rid of our arrogance. And we have to stop being so darn sensitive to things that don't matter. They call me Skoda. That's shit. I shouldn't be overly sensitive. I can say, yo, man, just call me by my first name. I can do that. And I have done that. But I can't just assume they're being disrespectful to me because I don't like what they're saying. You and I need to stop being overly sensitive to everything people say. Now, if you're using profanity, if you're swearing, if you're dressed inappropriately, if you basically look like you woke up out of a suitcase or something, yeah, a lot of people are gonna look down at you. And I don't. When I'm wearing a suit, obviously people treat me differently than when I'm jeans and a t-shirt. I kind of go in the middle. I wear polo shirts or button downs quite often. T-shirts usually at the gym where I'm doing some work outside or something. I have a lot of them. Probably have 30 different t-shirts, mostly with when I'm scuba diving or veteran organizations or even my own logo. But I don't wear t-shirts that often. But I know if I did, I get treated a little bit differently than if I have slacks on and a nice shirt. Now, for a long time, since I did a lot of speaking engagements, I would have two suits hanging in my car at all times. Sometimes I'd be wearing jeans and a polo shirt at one event, and later on that evening, I'm expected to wear a suit and tie because I'm doing a different event. It's always important to be prepared for whatever might come up. Understand, life's not perfect, but if we're prepared a little bit better, maybe we have a script of how to pronounce our names, because when someone introduces us, and like I said earlier, it's our job to find out or make sure they know how to pronounce her name, how to spell her name, know what her title is. Sometimes I'll be called, hey, Sergeant, come over here. I say, I haven't been a sergeant in 30 years. I became an officer after that, or whatever it is. Is it a big deal? It depends on the circumstance. Depends on the situation. Depends on where you are. You know, Maria, for instance, Perez, I'm the CEO of this company and I founded it, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, and she mostly did, but she had a little bit of help along the way to get things started. And sometimes those other people don't get recognized. And it's challenging because sometimes we forget to recognize people. Sometimes we're just so busy, we miss those little steps, those little minute ideas. So I encourage you, if you're presenting, if you're introducing, if you're telling a story, if you're whatever it may be prepared. Get your name right. Joseph. That means add one more, add another. And well, obviously he added some more children after Jesus was born. He had nothing to do with Jesus. Mary and God themselves did. The real immaculate reception, as they call it, or conception, whatever it may be. I don't want to get things wrong because I try to be a strong Christian, and nothing is worse than mocking the Bible or mocking the people or mocking Jesus. That irritates me more than even you mispronouncing my name. But my name's in the Bible, so they're kind of tied one on one. And I'd appreciate that you do learn how to spell Joseph, that you know how to spell Skoda and say it's Skoda. And that would mean a lot to me. And if you want me to speak at an event for yours, you want me to show off my GI connections and what we do for veterans, or if you just want some mentorship or some coaching in your business, come look me up. You know how to find me. Social media shows, deltascoda.com, Facebook. There's a lot of ways to find me. But whatever it is, be nice. Don't go out there and beat me up. But if you want to hear about your name, or you want to hear about certain things that matter to you and maybe others it doesn't, let me know. Maybe we'll air you or interview you on the next show, or maybe, just maybe, I'll give it my own twist and tell what I think about it. With your approval, of course. Whatever it is, I will be kind because I understand the importance in a name. With that being said, you're in the office with G.I. Joe, Joseph S., and me. I guess I'm going out there, but I'm Joseph Stephen Skoda III. I'm proud, and I want to thank for the long legacy of my father and grandfather for instilling that name upon their eldest son, and as I was able to do also. With that being said, I salute you. Have a great day. And remember, what's in the name? Ooh-ah. Boo. If you liked our show, please subscribe to our YouTube channel or find us on any social media platform, Instagram, of course, Facebook. Like, subscribe, share. We appreciate it. Let us know your thoughts and join our team. Anyways, we appreciate you staying tuned week after week, day after day, because we continuously build up our network to bring to you what you're asking for. Have a great day.
Now on digital and DVD.
Hit it.
Space Wars: Quest for the Deep Star is an epic sci-fi adventure.
Do what needs to be done.
An edge-of-your-seat wild ride.
We have company.
Tons of popcorn-munching fun. 5 stars. A love letter to the sci-fi films of the 70s and 80s. With plenty of action and fun for all. You need to see it. You really do.
The captain just decided it's time to go.
I am ready for a sequel. Experience a bold new adventure. Space Wars: Quest for the Deep Star.
A good old-fashioned adventure.
Now on digital and DVD.
John is an employee at one of the most famous firms in the city of New York, so his job is very hectic, and he realized that it is necessary for him to go and finally take a vacation. But he went on a vacation without planning out the details, and wasn't able to truly enjoy where he went because he had to think about so many things that he didn't plan for. Instead of enjoying his time away from work, he came back with more stress that he was not able to take full advantage of his vacation. But this year, a coworker suggested him to try World Ventures this time to make his vacationing more enjoyable and less stressful. They do not require you to plan anything outside of your transportation, which is also available at discounted rates. Your stay, your transport, and many meals are planned by the club. John liked the idea very much. He tries World Ventures, and his experience with the club was amazing, as he made many friends there with whom he had a great time. John recommends that everyone should try this club, as they are the best in business. See how the VIP-vacation-club.com can give you the right experience without all the hassle. Enjoy the VIP experience that only World Ventures provide.
Traditional TV is going away. Hollywood is starting to fade. People are demanding real stories from real people. Our voices are now being heard in our own way. Podcasts, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and TikTok Live are becoming the norm. Internet TV has now reached the highest demand in human history. Social media shows is now the new media of the century.
It's a tough market. We get it. Home inventory is at an all-time low. It's a seller's market, and cash buyers have the advantage. Recently, cash buyers made up more than a quarter of all home purchases. But we have the solution. New American Funding's Buyer Accepted program allows your buyers to compete with all cash offers by becoming cash buyers themselves. Here's how it works. Buyer Accepted LLC, an affiliated company of New American Funding, will purchase your buyer's new home with cash and sell it back to them for the original purchase price, plus a fee that can be added to the purchase of the home once they secure mortgage financing with New American Funding. The best part is that they don't need to sell their current home first. This is a true cash offer. Clients who use our Buyer Accepted program can secure financing using a conventional loan and even VA. Plus, there are no fees for agents and no sacrificing commissions. Buyer Accepted even offers a free 1-hour certification course that will make you the expert. You want to close more deals and help more clients? New American Funding's Buyer Accepted program is the answer.